You're watching Packers Total Access Live, your daily source for Green Bay Packers content, created for the fans by the fans. Hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you know whenever we go live. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at Packers_access. Go Pack Go. Enjoy the show.
And we hadn't even went live yet, and it was already off the rails. What's up, guys? Welcome into Packers Total Access. My name is Clayton. You can check us out on Packernet.com. Find me on Twitter at Packers_access. You can text us 865-658-5824. Join alongside Emilio and Tim. Emilio down here in a snowy Tennessee, and Tim up there in a balmy Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Got a little snow up here too.
There we go, man. I know it's pretty much hitting all over the country right now, and I'm just in heaven. There's no two ways about it. But let's do this. Let's give a quick shout out real quick before we get started to the great folks over at Ticket King, the official ticket provider of Packer Fan Total Access Live, Wisconsin-based since '92, specializing in Packers tickets. They're Wisconsin's largest ticket source with offices next to Lambeau and in Milwaukee. Click on the link in the video description and it'll send you to their website, theticketking.com. You can register for free there as a customer and go and start shopping for your Packers tickets. Again, that's Ticket King, the official ticket provider of Packer Fan Total Access Live. Gents, how we doing this evening? What's been going on in your all's world here?
Woke up to snow this morning, then 71 yesterday, woke up to snow this morning, and then by 2 in the afternoon, 1-2 in the afternoon, it was all gone, and I was throwing mulch. So I'm back to it. It's just a normal day here in Tennessee, right?
Getting some of that Wisconsin style weather down there in Tennessee there.
Yeah, no wind chill though, Tim. I'll take it.
Oh yeah, no, it's brisk. We're looking at like 9 degrees or something tomorrow.
Matt was Matt was talking about it in his presser at the very end there. Dude asked him, am I supposed to dress warm for tomorrow? I would either way, but Matt said, we'll see. But if we do go inside, we're gonna make it cold in there too for you. So it's cool that just fluctuate the temperature and get used to it. I mean, it's not, you can't just come out here in t-shirt and shorts and be, ready.
Yeah,
we got to get
ready for Seattle, man. No joke, right? Tell the boys they better
sit your butt outside.
The only thing we're missing is like
no practicing inside the Hudson Center, man.
Yeah.
We got to do it outside.
All we need is a makeshift rain system in there, and we're good to go, Tim. We can just, and then we just practice. Yeah, there you go.
So
I don't know. I'm not a doctor.
Nor are we meteorologists, right? So Carly will be joining us here in a second. I know she's looking for the link right now. We just sent it over, Carly, if you can hear my voice. We sent it in that Twitter group. And just FYI, moving forward, if you just go to StreamYard and hit refresh, the new link will always be there. I've stopped sending it out in that regard. So you can find it there for sure. So we'll get her in here and get a PTA Fantasy League update and see how the standings look there. Before she gets in here, let's do this. Let's give a quick shout out to Robert, who texts me pretty frequently. And here's what he said. Hey, Clayton, I haven't heard this morning's show yet, so you might have gone over both of these. Clete Blakeman is the official for our game Sunday night. John Hussey is reffing the Bears Queens Monday night. Also, we will be wearing the winter warning unis Sunday night as well in Seattle. So obviously the same uni that we wore against the Houston Texans earlier this year at home, we're going to be wearing on the road in Seattle. I've seen that on Twitter, and I didn't know if it was official or not, but it sounds like that's picking up steam. I'm assuming maybe you guys can confirm that as well. Is that what y'all are hearing?
I did see something, so I'm assuming that, I mean, it might be a green light. I know the Packers social media team put a poll up, asking people to vote or like and retweet if you want them to wear the all whites again. And I'm assuming the fan base overwhelmingly said yes. Let's wear the icy whites. It's primetime game on the road. We wear white on the road anyway. Might as well do it one more time. Bring those unis out. But I'm more interested in the fact that this guy is going to be our ref. Here's the guy.
Clete Blakeman. Let's take a look at his stats, shall we, gents? Let's go. Let's just get down to the nitty-gritty, and talk about the average flag count per game. And, guys, we've got a new leader in the clubhouse, as Clete Blakeman is averaging the most penalties per game now.
Too old for this with the comment of the night. Is that John Malkovich?
Malkovich in the middle, right?
I love it.
Now, listen, we talked about Hussey last week, and hey, he doesn't throw many flags. What was the big gripe in the Lions game? How many times he didn't throw a flag on the Lions, right? The Lions just kind of did what they wanted all night, punching Jordan Love in the face, grabbing Keyshawn Nixon by the collar. They didn't get called for the pick play. We did, right?
So he always seemed to find the flag when he needed it to penalize us. It's strange.
Exactly. It's like if you had just looked at one side there, you'd say, okay, yeah, that's Hussey. He doesn't throw the flag much, but boy, he sure didn't mind throwing it on the Packers. That's for sure. In crucial situations too. So again, Clete Blakeman is the leader in the clubhouse here, guys, at averaging 15.5 flags thrown per game. And when I say he, we're obviously talking about his staff, his crew, and he's going to be the head official for that crew. So look for some laundry there in Seattle come Sunday night. We're probably going to see it here with Mr. Clete Blakeman, man. So,
I like the picture. You can see he's stretching, getting the flag throwers ready. He's got his hands there. He might even have a flag in that hand already, ready to go. So
exactly.
Just warm.
All right, we got Carly Ray joining us now. Carly, how you doing this evening?
I'm doing all right. I love it. I'm loving the wallpaper background here. Loving the snow.
Oh yeah, nice. Yeah, it's awesome, and we're trying to match it up with Green Bay's weather. Obviously, we try not to do it if it's not really snowing up there. But Tim, I mean, you're there in town. It seems like every day we look up and there's at least a flurry going on in Green Bay. Right?
Yeah, it's been like that the past couple of days. Luckily, nothing super major yet, but of course that's on the way. We all know it.
Yeah, definitely. And Carly, I see you sent over the new standings just now, right? So I'll go ahead and pop that up on the screen so we can take a look.
Greg Rice said, "What a hussy." Respect Oranges says you can't call Carly that. So we are 2 for 2 with Respect Oranges trying to protect this chat over here and not get us in trouble.
How dare you?
Yeah, when he's trying to protect things, we're in trouble. All right, let's
Here's the guy.
So Carly, talk to us. It's been a little bit. I know you've been busy with the kids and everything. Tell us about the fantasy league. What's going on here?
Well, we are in the very last week before playoffs hit here, and we got strongly in first place. I think we will. Yeah, with the we got our first 5. Definitely have playoff secured. We got Lazy Pyro with Team Numbskulls in first place currently, but he's just one ahead of the second place pack at 11-3. We got Love Shack, Hunka Burn and Love, Chris with airing it out, and Trevor from Virginia, all really riding on Numbskull's heels here, trying to get in front of him. And since they're close on him or more in points, if they can win their next round, they will potentially secure that first round bye. Then
Playoffs?
Awesome. Then we have Jordan T with the Immunizers with 9-5. He has also secured a playoff spot. Then in the hunt for the last playoff spot, we've got Jake with Jake G 126, Mike United Bates, and Chris with Chris N's team.
Wow.
So
We're going to give him some.
Trifecta right there. Fighting for that last spot.
Next to Chris's logo, is that a nose emoji and a candy emoji? Unbelievable.
Believe
You're
it.
gonna have to clean it up in there. You're gonna have to get these guys under control. All right.
I as commissioner, I am not controlling anything. I'm just got the boundaries, not contioning anything. They've got
Right.
some wide.
No one else has a logo, but Chris has nose candy next to it. There he is. Anyway, I'm sorry. Carry on.
No, I love it. It's great. I never actually asked what that meant, and I was a little too afraid
Please
to.
don't. Just
I'll leave it at that.
not even worth it.
That's terrible.
So there you go with the standings. What do you think? This is the first year you've commissioned the league here, and obviously this is for the PTA, a Patreon group, and we're going to do this every year. Next year we'll probably have a couple of leagues, I would imagine. But what do you think about? What do you think about how the league's going right now? Anyway, as the guys, y'all better straighten up, right?
I just read AFAM's chat. I'm sorry.
Gosh, Charlie, go ahead. What do you think about running it so far this year? Has it been a good experience? I know you've been busy, but
No, it has been good. It's been interesting because there have been a few situations that have come up that I didn't really know, like that maybe the rules that were in place ahead of time didn't address. Like, for example, the guy in last place, Jordan Pack and Cheese, he
shout out.
he got knew he wasn't going to get the playoffs, and so he wanted to be generous and he dropped his best players to like let him hit the waiver wire so that other people could pick him up, which for some people that was not construed as a good thing. But here I am, innocent, thinking like, oh, that's nice of him. So that was really interesting. But
How dare you?
At the time of playoffs, all teams will be locked. They won't be able to drop, like there won't be able to be collusion or anything like that at the time of playoffs. But prior to that, people can still drop players, which I mean, picking up people on the waiver wire, I appreciated it, though I didn't get any of the really good ones. But as you can see, I'm still in almost last place.
Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game. Another game.
That is exactly my deal, because this next week I am up against United Bates playing spoiler for him. I'm trying to get into the compensatory. We have a compensatory quarterfinals. So that's what I'm trying to fight for. I just want to win one more game.
And we can't brush this under the rug here. Pack and Cheese creating some controversy in the inaugural PTA fantasy football.
Of course it's rigged. Of course, the first time we try to run a fantasy thing, it's rigged.
Unbelievable. Like I like how Carly was like, he said, "Oh, that was nice of him." Everybody's going, "No, it's not." It's absolutely awesome.
Well, I want to see what you guys think. I want to see what you guys think of it, because I was trying to think of how to respond in the chat. But I guess my thing is if they're playing this as like actually gambling, not just having fun, right? Like I'm playing for fun. I don't gamble. Right. I pay. I don't really care. This is a good time. But if you're in other leagues and you're not going to, this one's a goner, you've lost, and you don't want to put more time into it, then isn't it better? If you're not going to set your lineup or do anything, is it better to let those players go to good teams than just them sitting there and kind of getting wasted? I mean, I guess I kind of see where he was coming from if you're looking at it from that point of view. But ideally, everybody would be in it that's why I made a compensatory like playoffs for all the lower seeds, just because I think it's still fun to keep on playing, even if you're not going to win.
Yeah, I could see how it could be viewed that way too. I really could, and there probably was no ill intention. But as we know, this stuff gets competitive, and really the only way, like you said, there's a waiver wire, I would imagine. So the worst teams, or maybe it's in a specific order, right, that they get to choose these players they can pick up. I'm not a fantasy guru. That's why I kind of let you take it over, and hey, you jump in both feet and kind of see how it goes this year. But it is funny. I've never heard of anyone dropping players like that. And I could see how some of the guys would be like, what in the world's going on? I love it. I absolutely love it. There's a little conflict. Y'all going to find out later that I'm actually packing cheese in there. Right? So anyway, is there anything else you want to hit on the fantasy front there? Any other statistics, anything that stood out to you before we let you go, or at least move on to the next segment here?
I was going to upload a screenshot of it, but last week was crazy. Josh Allen and then the Vikings, what's his name? I'm blanking on his name, the quarterback.
Sam Darnold.
Yeah, they each got like 70 and 80 points respectively, and whoever has Josh Allen didn't actually win that matchup because of all of the other lineup. It was absolutely insane. I was watching it. It was crazy. Couldn't believe he lost it.
That is awesome. That's really good stuff. And it is pretty cool that if I'm looking at this correctly, the two players, Hunka Vernon Love and CJN, they have scored the most points, but yet they're not in first place right now. I'm always fascinated by that it comes down to those weekly matchups, right? That's really, really cool. That determines your record. So it's going to be cool. Do we know the playoff format, like how many teams get in and that type of thing? Do we know how that works?
The playoffs?
Damn it.
The top 6 teams will get in. I believe the first seed will get a first round bye, and then the last 6 or not the last 6, but then the next 6, number 7 through 12 will get the compensatory plus or the toilet bowl, so to speak. And there's no we couldn't decide on a punishment for last place. And throughout this whole season, I was really, really happy we didn't decide on a punishment, because I was staring it at the face thinking I was going to be the one having to do it. I have some ideas for next year if we want to, have some like more fun formats where we have some things set up ahead of time where you kind of join the league that you're most comfortable with, like if you want to do something like that.
I think that's
I've heard. Yeah. So
That's good stuff, though. I mean, and some of those bets, boy, whoo, they get out of control. You hear when people have to shave their head and do everything. It's like, oh my God. But anyway, we appreciate the update for sure. Anything else you got?
No, it's been a lot of fun. I just want to say also thanks to everybody in the league for just putting up with my kind of just being new, first time being a commissioner and trying to be mostly hands off and letting everything roll out and not control stuff too much. We got some stuff to clean up for next year as far as like, are we going to be able to veto trades and things like that?
Yeah.
I like to model it more after the NFL, where no NFL team asks another team their permission. If they're going to trade a player, they just go and do it.
Yeah.
I think I like that way of doing it, but we'll kind of set some things up and look towards next year. But it's been a lot of fun. I'm excited. I'm going to try and through the playoffs. I want to do an update every week. I'm going to make it a priority to make it happen here.
That'd be great. Yeah. And we look forward to it. So awesome stuff. All right. We got a couple super chats to hear. You can hang out if you want. If you need to go, we completely understand too, whatever you'd like to do. So
I'd like to hang for a while.
all right, cool. When you do have to go, just go or hang out for the whole show. Let's go to the first super chat. We got Joseph in the house, says, I appreciate you guys. Love your positive energy. Other podcasters have gotten so negative. I can appreciate keeping it real, but hey, we're not the Bears. Sheesh. This is a great team and organization. Go Pack Go. Yeah, Joseph. What we try to do, man, when we talk negative on here, right? And I appreciate the kind words for sure, and definitely the donation there. We talk negative, but we talk in a way that's like, hey, here's what happened. Why did it happen? Understanding it rather than just ranting and raving and stomping our feet going, this sucks. This team sucks. Fire him, cut him, all that. It's all right. What exactly happened? Why did it happen? How do you fix it moving forward? And approach it that way rather than trying to sound like the smartest person in the room. That stuff drives me crazy, man. The I told you so from a negative standpoint, like trying to – people getting so excited over being right about something going wrong drives me insane, man. So it's just tough. So appreciate you, Joseph. Appreciate you so much, man. Super chat from Dan Mullen says, thank you so much, buddy. Says, I don't donate often, but I appreciate you all for not going on an online tirade telling people from the Midwest that they're soft, ignorant rubes. All right, there you go. So, yeah, you're not going to get that from us, I promise you. So, Dan, thank you so much for the super chat there, pal. So as we move forward here, I know we've got some other chats we'll hit on real quick, and then we'll move to kind of the topics tonight. Raider McCready in the chat says, don't forget to hit that like button on your way. And if you guys would take a quick second, hit that like button. We greatly appreciate it. 2-0 for this says Bates, just thinking about Bill Belichick coaching a school called UNC, LOL. You guys heard Bill Belichick is going to be coaching, pretty much running the entire university, it sounds like. I don't know if you guys heard about this, but the University of North Carolina is where Belichick's going to land. And the rumor is that he typed up a 400-page document and gave it to the university saying, this is how I'm going to run things, okay? You guys stay the heck out of the way, essentially. Wow. So it's going to be interesting. I don't know if there's any truth to this, but I heard a rumor that he was going to – one of the stipulations was his son, Steven, who is the defensive coordinator for Washington right now, I believe Washington Huskies, is going to be the coach in waiting. That's going to be a stipulation. So when Bill does decide to retire, if it's after 1 year, 2 years, his son takes over the program. So that was really interesting too. I'm sure people will hate that. But again, that's huge news. 2-0 for this, bringing up that Belichick. Am I wrong here, guys? Did y'all see Bill Belichick coaching in college? I didn't see that one coming, man.
I didn't see that one coming, but I like Jason's comment. He just wanted to be closer to his girlfriend's dorm. Oh, comment of the night. I love it.
The memes they were out of control. Okay. If you could find the penguin meme, careful, but it made me laugh out loud. And I was leaving it at that. You'll know when you see it, you'll go, oh, that's the one Clayton was talking about. Unbelievably out of control. So
the only thing that I wasn't sure about was because Michael was always talking about like the GM, like, he's not going to take something like that. He wants to have full control of this, and that. And then it was move the sticks. I think Bucky was saying, he's gonna, or DJ was saying he's had full control of a team, controlling like GM operation, paying players, doing this, taking care of all those little things. That's what the NCAA is now, right? You got to worry about NIL deals. Players want to be paid. Belichick's already gone through all that, so that's where I think he's going to excel in it, and that's why they were talking like Nick Saban's got out of it and slipped away from it because he didn't want to deal with money. You got all these kids lining up to wanting to play football when he was coaching, and then now they're all lining up for money now.
Yeah, and it's so hard to build a culture when it's the top priority is money, right?
Right.
It really is. So 2-0 for this in the chat said Ryan Eckert is German for Eric Sutherland. So if somebody else, what the heck does that mean? Ryan Eckert was our latest winner. Okay, in our last post game show, he won an autographed Romeo Dobbs card. I have not heard from him. He is a real person, or he stole someone's profile picture on YouTube, one of the two. So Ryan Eckert, please reach out as soon as possible. If we don't hear from you within 24 hours, because it's been over a week now, right? Or right at a week, then Brambo would be the next winner. If we don't hear from Brambo, then it would be Jen Wright. So all three of you reach out.
None of them have reached out yet?
Nobody.
Not even Jen Wright or Brambo?
Oh, man, we better call Cleat.
Get him in here. So again, all three of you, Ryan Eckert is the actual winner. If we don't hear from him within 24 hours, it'll go to Brambo. If we don't hear from Brambo in 48 hours, then we'll give it to Jen Wright. And if Jen Wright don't want it, I might just keep it myself. Let Brambo, look at this.
There he
Here's
is.
the guy.
Brambo, what are you doing? Listen, okay, so here's the deal, Brambo. The autographed Romeo Dobbs card, okay?
I thought he was in here a lot. What's he doing?
I know it, yeah. Ryan, he said, I'm here.
Yeah, wait, pick me.
Ryan, he said, I know that guy. Ryan Eckert is the actual winner. I have not heard from him. Since I haven't heard from him, let's give it tonight. If we don't hear from him, you go ahead and shoot me a text, though, 865-658-5824, and that will be prepared. If we don't hear from Ryan by tomorrow morning, we'll go ahead and get your information and get that card sent out to you, okay? So, Brambo, you are the winner. So that has been claimed. That's great if we don't hear from Ryan Eckert. Now, this coming Sunday night post-game show, we're going to be giving away an autographed Lucas Van Ness jersey, okay? It's the green jersey. It's the Beckett style, obviously the home jersey. It's just like this one right here from pristineauctions.com.
Here's the guy.
So comes with a certificate of authenticity, all that good stuff. You got to be a member of one of the 3 tiers on Patreon or a YouTube member, not a subscriber, but a YouTube member, okay? And we'll put everybody's name on the Larry McCarron Pinky Wheel and spin that sucker at the post-game show, hopefully during a post-game show that was coming fresh off a dub, and we'll give away that jersey there. It's just a way for us to give back to those who are supporting the show. So glad we got that taken care of. Jake G126 with the super chat. Appreciate you, buddy. Says, thanks to Carly putting up with some of us. I like that he said that. Really competitive fantasy managers. 3-way race for that last playoff spot, man. That's exciting. That's really
Playoffs?
And what I would like to see happen, Jake, if you could rally the guys up in our fantasy chat, maybe put your all's roster. That 3-way race there, you guys put your roster up. That'll give us kind of an idea of, hey, I know so-and-so.
Who am I looking out for? Yeah,
exactly. That type of thing. So that would be a lot of fun.
What are we working with, Bates? Put it in the chat, man. Let's go.
Exactly. So thank you so much for the super chat, Jake. You're the man, buddy. Let's see what else we had in the chat here. Prince, evening, gents. Welcome back. Musgrave, and farewell to Jonathan Ford. Kind of a mixed bag today. Yeah, I'm not as high on Jonathan Ford as others were. I don't know how you guys feel about him leaving, but obviously he goes to the Bears. Sucks for him, right? Did I understand that correctly? He did land with the Bears, right?
I believe so, yeah.
Saying. Yep.
So, I don't know. How do you guys feel about that? I'm not like, oh, man, this sucks. I feel like if he was a significant, role player on this team, then he would have been called up more than he has. How do you guys feel about it?
I would agree with that. I think it's exciting that we get to see some of these other guys on the D-line get some snaps now. Really, the big news is Musgrave coming back. That's a good sign, pointing our tight end room in the right direction. But I'm with you. I don't think Jonathan Ford was terrible, but I don't think we need to mourn the loss too much. Plus, guys hop from practice squad to practice squad at times. You never know. This time next year, he could be back in the mix with us. We don't know. So, we'll see how things go. Hopefully, Chicago doesn't ruin him like they ruin everyone else. And we wish him the best.
Exactly.
Yep. The only thing that bothers me is we carried him for so long, and I just feel like he didn't get a lot of playing time burn. Like, obviously, I guess it didn't crack out in practice and stuff, but if we were going to carry him that long, I'd like to at least get a couple reps.
Gotcha. To see what he could actually do in game time, right?
Yeah.
That makes sense. Elijah Gwynn in the chat says, what's up, PTA fam? Trying to join the live shows as much as possible. Usually listen to the podcast in the morning, but something about the live shows hits different. We appreciate that, Elijah. We have a lot of fun in here. Again, it's kind of ran by the fans. It can get out of control sometimes. We got to reel it in. But for the most part, it's a lot of fun for sure. 2-0 for this, says Elijah. I hope this chat tonight sucks more than usual just for you, in a good way, of course. So there you go. This show does suck. That seems to be the word on the street. United Bates says, hey, Elijah, live shows are great for the visual and chat. Glad you made it. And again, I know people on the podcast hear about us talking about the chat, and you'll hear us giggling about the chat. You just got to be in here to experience, because some things we cannot say over the air, I promise. That's why Carly disappeared for so long. She's like, I can't handle this anymore. 2-0 for this in the chat says, it's awesome that Mark Murphy's getting recognized at halftime coming up soon. They should make it to the Super Bowl halftime. I did not realize, are they gonna honor him at one of the
They said
halftime?
this, December 23rd game, or
that's the New Orleans game, I believe.
Yeah, I think Monday night. I think they're gonna do it that Monday night game.
That's awesome, dude. That's gonna be, again, you guys. I won't rehash it. I'm a big Mark Murphy fan. I just love everything that he represents, and I thought he's done a hell of a job. For
they were going to recognize, his career and all that, and his retirement. And I mean, I think it's, like you said, I think it's great. Under the lights too. I mean, that's beautiful.
And I'd say there's about a
65%. 65%. That's what
chance that there's some snow out there too. So it's absolutely perfect.
How fitting would that be, man?
Bucket now.
Let's go. All right, so Jacob Morley put a tweet out. Let's just kind of go around the Packers Twitter. Jacob Morley, you guys, I know you hear me talk about him all the time. I'm probably his biggest fan on Twitter, one of the best follows on Packers Twitter, at Jacob Morley. Jordan Love since the bye week, 59 of 88, completion percentage of 67%, adjusted completion percentage of 79.3. I think the Packers are third this year in drops, most drops, right? So adjusted completion percentage, 79.3. Yards, 904 yards. His yards per pass attempt is 10.3 yards per pass attempt. 6 touchdowns, only 1 interception. Turnover-worthy throws, only 2. NFL passer rating of 118.8. There's something about the Toyota-thon Jordan Love, boys, let me tell you. It's a real thing.
Yeah, he's back to himself, man. This is the J Money that we know and love and want to see, right? And I'm all for it. I don't care. Get hot as hell going into the end of the year, right? Let's storm into the playoffs again and screw somebody's season up. I'm totally with it. I love it. All we needed was a bye week,
Exactly.
Yeah, he tore it up last year at Toyotathon too. So we might as well. I mean, started each year in October. Maybe we could move it up a little bit, but I'm fine with it, man. He's absolutely cooking.
That's hilarious that Toyotathon is attached to Jordan Love. I just love it. That's great. Moving along here, Keyshawn Nixon getting a little bit of recognition this week as PFF Green Bay Packers tweeted out, Keyshawn Nixon among cornerbacks in Week 14, 84.8 coverage grade, the second highest graded corner in the entire National Football League for Week 14. Again, you're seeing improvement with Keyshawn. This is probably is his best game of the year, but listen, he's gonna step back a little bit again. We're talking about how you see that improvement, just up and to the right. It's going to take time as he gets better. I love the fact that he's under contract for the next 2 years. Whether he goes back to the slot this week or not, I thought he's done a heck of a job out on the boundary. Carly, you got anything to add to Keyshawn Nixon? I don't know how much of the games you've gotten a chance to watch here lately with you being so busy, but Keyshawn Nixon, that last game with the pick and how he's playing, you got anything to add, anything we've covered so far?
I'm just really encouraged by his progress. He is, like you put there, he is a dog. He cares. He wants to go out there and give his all for the team. And that's what, even though he's, had up and down, and I really feel like this Jeff Hafley system is really benefiting him more, but it's not going to be an instantaneous change. It's going to take time. And I really like seeing Jeff Hafley recognize what he's good at and getting him in on it, and just seeing the guy bringing his heart to everything he's doing.
Yeah. And I know there's some people that are going to say, hey, it's just one game. But if you go back a couple of weeks, remember the punch out, right? Where he came all the way across the field, hustle play, plus the awareness to get that ball knocked out, forcing the fumble, and obviously the Packers recovering. Was that against the Dolphins? Am I thinking right? Was it the Dolphins?
I believe so.
Yeah.
I think it was a Miami game, yep.
It seems like every week we're saying something about Keyshawn. He did something else, right? That's made a difference in the game. So I think it's just absolutely huge.
And moving to the boundary, I had real tempered expectations about him going out there thinking, oh boy, here we go. And he not only met expectations, but I think he's exceeding them right now. I mean, playing on the boundary about as good as any slot corner is capable of playing on the boundary. And I love to see it. And then of course, we've had to throw him back into the slot on some of those looks, and he's been able to handle that too. So I think, for all the people that thought we overpaid for a return guy, I think you're eating your words right now, because Keyshawn's earning that check every single week for sure.
Yeah, Matt was talking about him up in his game. It seems like each year he's gotten better at something. We were banking on him being the returner, and Matt said, to his credit, he came in here, worked hard in the offseason, and got better at the corner position, and then allowing him to also be able to go inside and out. That's tough to do, and we're lucky that he's able to do that so fluidly without costing so much. Clayton's talked about the strong, dominant eye and all those things. All that kind of goes to the wayside when you're flipping sides of nickel. Then you got your outside one side, and so we're really lucky that he's been able to grow and help us in the corner room for sure.
Pretty refreshing to see a guy that's playing better after getting the bag, as they say. Usually we talk about players get paid and then they regress, or they kind of fall off.
Tim, could you imagine
the opposite?
Could you imagine if he wasn't grading out like this right now? Like where would the fan base be? They'd be screaming. He hasn't gotten a chance to return any kicks. If he wasn't playing well right now, they would be lighting him up, I feel like.
Yep.
I don't want to pat you on the butt and you poop my hand. So
when we re-signed him earlier, this offseason, the first thing that I said was, hey, you're getting arguably the best returner in the game, and you're getting a pretty high floor for the cornerback room, right? Like, if you go out and you draft a corner or two, and this is kind of, we're going back in time before the draft, or you sign a free agent corner and they start over Keyshawn, great, no problem. But you really love him as a backup, that backup veteran depth. And again, I'm with you, Emilio, like him playing that left cornerback position from the defensive perspective, there's something about it that it's really, really connected with him. Now, what sucks is, as you can see here, the injury report. Now, the whole injury report doesn't suck. It's actually a good injury report, in my opinion. But no surprise, it looks like Javon Bullard did not practice today, so he's probably going to be out for this game. I think we all kind of expected that. I imagine that Keyshawn Nixon is going to go back to the slot because Jair Alexander is going to be starting, right? So what you're going to have is obviously Jair Alexander starting at corner, and then it'll be probably Carrington Valentine and Eric Stokes on the opposite side rotating like we have seen. Keyshawn Nixon will go back to the slot unless maybe they surprise us and they throw Carrington in the slot or something. I don't anticipate that, though. I want to get your all's take on it. Now, the full injury report.
Throw Zane Anderson in the slot. Put him out there. Let's go.
Now that we know he's a real person, right? Bill Huber had tweeted out, Jair Alexander, Evan Williams, Romeo Dobbs, Corey Ballantyne, and Edgerrin Cooper are all practicing, okay? Javon Bullard is not, and Luke Musgrave has been designated for return. So within the next 3 weeks, it sounds like they can go ahead and put him in the active lineup, right? Is what it sounds like.
Man.
Musgrave.
More good news than bad news, I think, coming from practice today for sure.
Definitely, yeah. And we didn't expect Bullard to come back. I'm happy Luke's back. He was talking in his presser, just trying to get little goals, get to 20 miles an hour. He got there. I think he said he maxed at 22, but you can't get it all back in one day. And I'm sure he's itching to be back out there. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yep. And if Jair Alexander is going to play in this game, right, let's say he does, what you're judging is, okay, is it an upgrade losing Javon Bullard and picking up Jair Alexander? I think we would all agree, yes, it's a big upgrade, right? Yeah. So the defense should be significantly better with the moves that we're seeing here. Now, if Andrew Cooper's on the field too, it's going to be huge. So
right. And I think if Ja does come back, I think Keyshawn has to go to the slot just because they ask him to do a lot in there. I think you'd want to keep Carrington on the outside because he's not afraid to come down and stick his nose in a run. But I think that they asked the slot to do a little bit more. That's why Bullard was, I like Bullard in that because he can be a little bit more flexible. But I think he would tear it up in the slot if we asked him to.
I agree. I think that's the best chance to get your best guys on the field at the same time, right? You got John and Carrington Valentine on the outside and Keyshawn in the slot. That's a good look for sure.
Yeah. So if we take a look at the full injury report here, here's what we got. All right. Jair Alexander, full participation. Corey Ballantyne, limited with the knee. Javon Bullard did not participate. Edgerrin Cooper, limited with the hamstring. Romeo Dobbs, full participation. Although he's technically still in concussion protocol, I feel comfortable saying he will play this week, barring any setback. Travis Glover looks like he had an illness. He's limited. Isaiah McDuffie with the ankle, no surprise there. He's limited. They're still trying to nurse that thing back to 100%. Luke Musgrave with the ankle, limited. And I'm sure the stars simply mean there it is. Yeah. Designated to return from injured reserve, currently within the 21-day practice window. So any day now he could be activated. Might be this week, might be next week, could be the week after that. My guess is it's probably closer to that 21-day mark as opposed to this week. That's just me personally. I could be wrong, though. Josh Myers with the pectoral injury, he was full participation. LVM with the thumb, full participation. Rasheed Walker with the knee, full participation.
My knee.
And Evan Williams with the concussion was limited. So hopefully we can get Evan Williams back there on the field. The fact that he's practicing and you got the long week here, I think he'll probably be in the lineup too. I was kind of surprised that Romes didn't go last week. So I think you guys want to comment on there with the Packers side of the injury report.
I think it shows how serious that concussion was for Rome, for him to, be in the protocol this long and, practicing is part of the process. We were excited last week. He practiced. We thought, hey, this is, final stages of evaluation. Maybe we'll see him in the lineup, and he still didn't play. So hopefully this week we see Romeo Doubs, back in the lineup. And then the only other thing that stood out to me is Josh Myers with, the merry-go-round of injuries that, pick a week and he's got a different thing going on and still full participant at practice. We give Josh a lot of crap, but dude is really tough. It's a tough player, man. He's been fighting off injuries all year, and he's been available for the most part. So shout out to our center.
Yeah, for sure. Carly, you got anything to add to the injury report there? Anything at all?
I like what Tim said about the concussion, how serious it was, but also like how serious they're taking it, because you've seen guys go into concussion protocol and they're back a bit faster than maybe you think is like best for them. So I'm really glad they're just looking out for him and really holding him to it and giving him time to recover. Cause when you stack those on top of each other, how dangerous those can be. So I'm just glad to see that he's taking his time coming back, and I look forward to seeing him play. Yeah,
for sure. All right. So listen, there is a bunch of people on this Seattle Seahawks injury report. I'm not going to list them all off for time purposes, obviously, but we'll go with the ones that did not participate. Trey Brown, cornerback with a hammy, did not participate. You had Ernest Jones, the fourth, knee/NIR rest, did not participate. Tyler Lockett, wide receiver, veteran rest. So both those guys probably be good to go. They did not participate. Boye Mafe, linebacker, another veteran rest. Then you had Jaron Reed with veteran rest. They got a lot of veterans resting over there, man. They got a little daycare center or something going on.
That's former Packer Jaron Reed there?
That is, sir.
Yeah, went back to his old team.
Yeah.
Jarek Reed, not to be confused with Jaron Reed. I don't think they're cousins or anything. Quadricep did not participate. All right. And then you had another veteran rest, Laken Tomlinson. What are they running over there, guys? My God, old folks home did not participate. And then you got Kenneth Walker, the third running back, did not participate with the calf injury. What's that one's name, Carly? I got to know.
We got a new cat. His name's Simon.
What's up?
Nice.
That's a handsome devil right there. Look at that guy.
Yeah, he wants to say hi.
Kenneth Walker with the calf did not participate. Then Leonard Williams, defensive end, did not participate. Is there another one underneath that ticker, Tim? I can't tell. Bro. Can you drop that down for me real quick?
Yeah, let me
We're
grab.
not missing anybody. All right, we're good. Okay.
Sorry about that.
We did it perfect. All right. So, yeah, Leonard Williams is a big one, too. Now it says foot plus NIR rest. So, I mean, a majority of those being veteran rest are probably going to be back. You got a number of limited ones, too. Michael Dixon, the punter, he was limited. And then you had, was there another limited? Brady Russell tied in with the foot was limited as well. So it looks like a big list, but I feel like the majority of those guys are probably going to be out there on Sunday. You guys agree with that?
Right. Yeah, I think so. It kind of looks like a lot of veteran rest there that they're just trying to get him through to the end of the season, trying to make sure that playoff run doesn't get too hindered by injuries.
Yeah, yep, for sure. All right, so since we're speaking of injuries, and obviously we just talked about our boy Luke Musgrave, here's a quick shot that Matt Schneidman put out on Twitter of him just kind of going through some drills over there at a chilly Ray Nitschke field outside as they're getting some practice in. It says Luke Musgrave is practicing for the first time since week 4, had ankle surgery this season, now designated to return off of IR. Also,
Musgrave stayed on his feet.
We already talked about the players that are practicing this week. Obviously with Jair, Romeo Doubs, Edgerrin Cooper, Evan Williams, and Corey Ballantyne. But Musgrave, it's hard to tell a whole lot here, but it is nice to see him out there in shells and actually going through some of the drills. It looks good from everything we can see right here, right?
Yep.
Yeah, especially being able to cut on an ankle. I mean, I didn't have an ankle surgery; I had knee surgery, but still, you get that feeling. And coming back same season, that's huge. That's awesome to see. He was talking about how like he didn't think he needed surgery, but he got it off recommendation, and he didn't even think it was that bad when he came back into the game. So I'm glad he's doing good.
Yeah. It's all about trusting it too, right? You got to get your legs back underneath you and trust
Big
that
mental
ankle.
hurdle.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I know people get really excited, potential of Musgrave coming back. And I know there's some people that are like, hey, he wasn't that good before he got hurt. It's kind of a mixed bag for me. We've seen where he can be good. We've seen his deficiencies too. Look, he's not as good a blocker as Tucker Kraft, but he is one of those guys that can stretch the field vertically. There's no two ways about that. So one thing from a strategic standpoint that I keep thinking of, and I could be completely off base, you guys tell me if you think I am, when we show 12 personnel, we've been marching Tucker Kraft and Ben Sims out there. And there's been a lot of attached looks, right? So now what if we start showing 12 personnel and all of a sudden Musgrave, when he is healthy, you're flexing him out wide. You've seen a little bit of that with Tucker Kraft. But imagine throwing him in the slot and really throwing them off kilt where, okay, we come out in a 12 personnel, but Musgrave's in the slot flexed out. Tucker's still attached, and they're matching it with a base defense. Now you got to walk a linebacker out there on Musgrave. That could create a little bit of a mismatch. Now, the downside of that, too, is obviously we're kidding ourselves if we think there's not going to be some rust attached with Musgrave, right? The fact that he hasn't played. What week was it? 4? Week 4? That's how long he's been out, right? So going to be interesting. I will tell you this, though, man. With every adversity lies a seed of equal or greater benefit. Tucker Kraft, man, he maximized that opportunity with Musgrave being out. And that dude is a legit number one tight end. That's one positive that's definitely come out of this whole situation,
Positive. Yeah. Well, after you saying that got me thinking, Clay, the lines came out in that base 3-4, right? And they were heavy. But if we could come out in our 12 with a wide receiver type tight end, maybe that helps us start out in that tight formation, shift to flex out and, work it from there. I think that would be cool. Having 2 big receiving threats at tight end would be nice. Maybe put them more in a bind. Just not a knock against Ben Sims. We're not expecting him to go run a 9 or a post or something. So I think that, having Musgrave out there, even if we are going up against base, would definitely help him.
Yeah, for sure. All right. That's going to do it for hour 1. For those of you listening on the pod, we will see you on the other side for hour 2. We appreciate y'all. All right. Welcome into hour 2. I like what Drew said here, too. Brought up a great point. Drew said Musgrave had 3 yards less than Kraft in 6 fewer games in 2023. So Musgrave definitely has something to offer. He does. The biggest change there, in my opinion, was definitely the whole passer rating when targeted, right? It was significantly lower than Tucker Kraft. And to me, that was just a testament to Tucker Kraft making the most of his opportunities, right? Whether it was the yardage, but obviously he didn't have a drop until what? God, it was I want to say it was the playoff game against the Cowboys, and I don't even know if that was technically a drop, to be honest with you. So Tucker Kraft showing sure hands for sure. So all right, let's move it along here onto the next tweet. Let's see what we got in here. I can't even remember. Oh, this was really cool. I don't know if you guys seen this, but Lambeau Field actually tweeted out that video of the statues out front. If you guys have never been to Lambeau Field and you don't know what I'm talking about on the podcast here, they've got a set of statues out front where it's basically you can do a Lambeau leap, right? They got a mock wall set up with these statues of fans where you can take a picture there, kind of jump up on the wall. Tim, I know you've done this 1,000 times. You got to do it every time you go over to Lambeau, right?
Yeah, man, right over there by the atrium and the pro shop entrance, go see Curly and Vince and then do a Lambeau leap and then go buy a $200 jersey, spend your day at the at Lambeau for sure. But no, man, this is one of the things that's great about just being close and being able to go over there is just to see things like that and experience it in all the different seasons. This time of the year, Titletown, Lambeau Field is it's something else. Get your holiday photos and winter wonderland experience in if you can, if you're up here. It's a great time of year to go hang out over there for sure.
Yeah, especially with the snow flying too. It doesn't get any better.
Yeah, I can't believe I missed that, dude. Like when I was there, we got there late that night, went to dinner at 1919. I was in the atrium, but it was nighttime, went to the pro shop. By the time I came back the next morning, parked in a neighborhood, walked across a grass field, and I was at like the back where the buses were. My gate was right there. We walked in. So like, I didn't even see front of the stadium. So I need to, when we go up for the draft, need to adjust that and get a picture up there. Maybe we could all fit on the wall together. That'd be a good one.
There you go.
Absolutely. Drew D in the chat said it's getting to negative 20 degrees tonight / in the morning here with the wind chill. So
plug that block heater in. You're going to need it.
You're going to have to make sure those glow plugs are plugged up. Got to keep it warmed up. All right. Up next, Paul Brettel put a tweet out I wanted to hit on. LaFleur on Kenny Clark. Quote, I think Kenny's playing some really good football right now, and that's going to be pivotal for us moving forward. With the run defense heating up in the recent weeks, Clark is tied for 6th in PFF's run stop rate metric the last 3 weeks. Now, you guys know last night we hit some of the tape and showed him absolutely dominating in the run game there against Detroit. So it's good to see Kenny kind of crank it up here as the football gets more and more important. We get closer to the playoffs. It's nice to know, too, people like Paul Brettel identifying this and highlighting it. Obviously, we caught it last week and hey, he really, really popped on the tape. It's just confirmation. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. And I think it's Kenny just being a veteran player, too, and embracing his role on this defense. He knows he doesn't have to rush the passer all the time. There's not a lot of pressure on him to get a lot of those pressures. A lot of times it's just keeping the middle of that D-line solid in the run fits and letting our other guys tee off, And I just think it's really cool to see, Kenny, you got a soft spot in your heart for him, right? We brought him in, we drafted him. He's the longest tenured Packer on this team, and he's fully embracing this veteran leadership position. And he's going to be pivotal going forward. I agree with Coach LaFleur for sure.
Yeah, and the big thing for me too, I'm sure people in the chat are also thinking like, Clayton, didn't you say we needed a 3-tech? Yeah, Kenny, what we've noticed this year is they're playing him at 1-tech more than anything, right? So we still need that true 3-tech. You need it. And I know Kenny got the bag, and who knows, maybe the draft falls a certain way where you go draft a 1-tech and you kick Kenny over consistently playing a 3, and then you kind of move forward like that. That could be an option too. But again, do I think he's lived up to the contract he signed? Absolutely not. That's just me personally. But the fact that he's playing his best football, as LaFleur confirmed, and we've seen on the tape, and Paul Brettel tweeting this out, it's exciting for Packer fans to know that he's playing his best football now as we get ready for the playoffs for sure. So really excited to see what Kenny does down the stretch here. So here's the man of the hour, Mr. Luke Musgrave. I wish I'd have had the Matt Schneidman tweet where someone said, why is he so red? And Matt Schneidman kept it simple and said, because it's colder than ish out here. That's all he said. But here was Musgrave in his locker earlier today. Let's see what he had to say.
To get back out there? I think as soon as practical. So I don't know if there's a timeline, but as soon as possible. But they'll let me go, I'll go.
What does that mean, though, to be potentially cards here to help this team kind of push at the end of the year?
Yeah, I think it's that I can go out there and contribute in a positive way to the team, whether it's a limited role or wherever they see me. But so whenever that time comes, I'll be back. Just for
that was a blessing too, guys. That he doesn't have to. You got Tucker Kraft. He doesn't have to step right back into that number 1 role.
Yep.
Just ease him right back in, right?
Yep. We got Ben Sims too. He's been playing good ball. Out there. So I like his attitude, right? If it's limited or however I can contribute, they let me go out there, I'll go out there. So, I mean, we're in a good spot. We don't have to rush him, back into a, pivotal role in the offense right away.
Yeah.
Right. Because I think they had him dressed in the game before he had the surgery or whatever as like a reserve role. That's kind of where we could use him right now. Hey, have one or two plays either dialed up for him or dialed up with him in there to draw a certain coverage or a certain 12 or 11, 13, whatever, and go from there. I think that's totally fine with him. We don't need him to run the tight end room.
Yep.
Exactly. It's just, I don't know. It's nice. It's nice to know that you get that kind of depth, and the fact that if we want Ben Sims back, he'll be back next year. I love the thought that next year's tight end room is going to be Tucker Kraft, Luke Musgrave, and Ben Sims once again. And if John Fitzpatrick comes back, awesome. If not, then maybe you draft someone too, right? And get him in there too. So, Carly, if you got anything to add, you just chime in, cut us off, okay? We'll,
I had a thought on the tight end, at least on the position that I wanted to share and see what you guys thought.
Yeah, absolutely.
People always say that tight end is like one of the hardest positions to look or to learn as a rookie, and just to be able to make a difference. But I was also thinking that our receivers and the way that Matt LaFleur is teaching them like they're blocking. They're really being put in the roles where they have to almost serve in that tight end as well, in that tight end role. It's really like we have, I mean, they're capable of it. It's also like we have more tight ends. I know it's not the same body type exactly in the same position, but it really screws up with what the people on defense can expect when you have wide receivers that aren't just stuck in those receivers route running roles, but can be as effective blockers. I think it really maximizes our potential on offense.
No block, no rock.
Exactly, Coach. It's a great point. Like and what it allows you to do is Christian Watson blocks like a tight end. Now you would never line him up attached to play true Y. You'll put him in that wings area, right? So you can kind of hide him behind the tight end and let him get out there and dig out a safety or dig out a nickel. But the fact that you can go to 11 personnel and have him play one of those nasty splits and get in there and really affect the running game, because he's going to be going up against a nickel. He'd be going up against a safety or a corner. It's absolutely huge. It's a great observation, Carl. So I don't know. It's exciting to see the plan come together for LaFleur and exactly what he's looking for in the receiver room. And again, there's some guys that, fans in the past, oh man, he'd be a true number one, get him in there. And then you look and watch him block on tape and it's like, no, that's not a fit for what we do for sure.
Right. It'll be something he'll have to work on in the offseason, just like Tucker worked on his block. And I think Jordan was saying that in his interview. Tucker's really worked on his block and wanted to get better at that, and it's shown. I think that's something that either they can work on together, that, he could give him some pointers, all that. I think that'll be big offseason point.
Yeah, for sure. Jacob Morley with another banger of a tweet. 2022 draft class. All right, so this is across the NFL. Offensive tackle pass blocking grades at draft position, minimum 250 snaps. Okay, this is the 2022 draft class. The top pass blocking tackles. Number 1, Bernhard Raymond, 85.1. He was a third-round pick 77. Number 2, Zach Tom, 82.3, fourth-round pick 140. Number 3, Rasheed Walker, 81.8, round 7, pick 250. Number 4, Charles Cross at an 81.2, round 1, pick 9. And number 5, Braxton Jones at an 80. He was picked in round 5 at pick 168. Guys, 4 of the 5 top pass blocking tackles in the game from the 2022 draft class there's only one of them that was drafted in the first round. And we know there's plenty of tackles that go in the first round too. This is freaking awesome that 2 of the 5 are on the Packers team.
Yeah, Rasheed Walker being the super standout, right? He's like he's like our Brock Purdy, right? Almost took him dead last, and now he's a starter, and that's his role, that's his job, because he earned it. We saw him sprinkled in when Bakhtiari was battling the never-ending knee issue, and Rasheed was thrown into the fire, and I think it's made him the player he is right now, honestly. And his development has just been awesome for a 7th rounder. I love it.
Yeah, and it kind of goes hand in hand too, Emilio, like what we talked about. If Josh Myers doesn't come back and you kick Elton Jenkins over to center, right, the fact that you got your tackle position locked down with late round picks, and I know Zach Tom's eventually going to get paid. He's going to get paid darn good like he should. But with Sheed, it's kind of the similar situation. Like, I don't think Rasheed Walker is going to break the bank, though. Zach Tom will. Rasheed Walker, you'll probably get on a pretty decent deal, albeit it is left tackle and the most expensive position on the offensive line. It's just awesome to know that Elton could kick in. Your corners are covered, right? Your corner protection's covered. You can put Elton at center if Josh Myers does walk. And then, of course, you got Jordan Morgan and Sean Ryan. Sean Ryan playing some darn good football right now. Can play guard for us, too.
Don't forget about Michael Jordan, too, man. Come on now.
Yeah. I always like to harden up the outsides and the center, right? When you're building that wall, we need a center point, 2 edges that are nice and sturdy. Then we can figure out what's going on in the middle. But that's all it is protect Jordan Love, protect Josh Jacobs, and open up some holes and let them just go to work. I think the line's been doing that. And like Jordan was saying, the offensive physicality, even the team physicality, is set by that O-line and that D-line. And we either need to just make sure we hammer out the little things, get through that snap count, let's fix all that stuff, and let's keep showing up. But the fact that that line is setting that tone, being 4th round, 7th round, I mean, you get those kind of guys that are gritty, that want to make a name. Hey, you didn't pick me in the first. You get that kind of chip on your shoulder. I love that.
Yep.
Definitely. It's a real thing, man. It's a real factor. When you draft a first rounder, they definitely don't have that chip on their shoulder. Not near to the effect of someone who drops to the third, fourth, fifth, sixth, or even seventh round. Like they're coming out going, okay, all these teams passed up on me. Let's prove them wrong, right? It's huge. It really is. I think that's the big benefit. One of the other benefits to trading back and collecting a multitude of picks and taking multiple swings. And the other beautiful thing too, let's say Rasheed Walker didn't pan out, right? Jonathan Ford's one. Wasn't Jonathan Ford a 7th round pick? Am I thinking right?
Yeah.
When you cut him loose or you put him on the practice squad, you're not forfeiting hardly any money at all, if any at all, in terms of signing bonus, right? If you draft a first rounder and you got this signing bonus attached to him, there's cap penalty involved if you do cut him and decide, okay, he's not what we were looking for. But also you've got this whole nuance within the organization where the GM's thinking, hey, he's a stud. I'm the one who scouted him. And the coach might be under his breath going, I don't know, man, he plays like hot trash. And now you're stuck kind of trying to fit a square peg into a round hole, right? So those late round picks, man, you don't have that pressure. You really don't. So
even though they do try to hang on to their picks, right? Get through the first year hanging on to them, through cut downs and all that. But after that, it's, you're not as attached to it because you have another 7th or 2 7ths coming up. And especially the fact that Goody's had multiple, I think it makes it easier.
Yeah, I agree. All right, let's see. I think we're all caught up. We are. So we're all caught up on Twitter. Anything else you guys want to talk about before we jump into a little PFF preview? Anything that might have thought it might have triggered, anything like that?
No, just another Josh Myers appreciation comment. I think, we can talk about moving guys around all we want. The fact that he's been kind of steady Eddie, as Jacob would say, right? Steady Eddie at that position. Maybe not doing anything super spectacular, but we have seen improvement. Like Antonio's saying here, big risk in letting Myers go. Now, I'm not saying you back up the Brinks truck and give him a ton of money, but I do think you have to consider keeping him around, if anything, for depth, and then allow yourself, time to move someone else into that center position. But really do appreciate Josh gritting through a lot of these nagging injuries, things like a pectoral in your thumb, and when you're snapping the ball 50, 60 times a game, that's no joke, man. I fell asleep funny the other night and my arm still hurts. I can't imagine going out and banging heads with guys for entire games week to week, and then just gritting through it at practice and being available. So shout out to Josh. Long way removed from snap the freaking ball, Josh. We are now tough guy, Josh. Thank you for your service, Josh. I love it.
Yeah.
While his head was down, I was saying while his head was down too, Tim, just getting blown off the ball by the DN, everyone was jumping the snap count. I like that he took the initiative to go over to Jordan and say something about it. I mean, I know Jordan's got a lot going on. I know everyone's thinking it, but Josh is like, dude, I'm getting cooked. Like this is not going to look good on us.
That's a great point, because we should look for that this weekend, right? Sunday night, we should see a change, with how we're snapping the ball and dealing with these guys coming off the line for sure.
Mm-hmm. I think it's going to be good practice, and Matt said it'll harden them. Any away game where you can get either a win or learn something from it, it's something that's going to harden the team. I think that I was going to ask is we want to so say we're going to go play Seattle, we want to win this game, and then are we ready to have to go back and play them again? Are we ready to win back-to-backs or 2 games against a power or a strong team?
Yep.
Go ahead, Tim. Did you mark that one? Was that you?
Yeah. I thought that was funny. Too old for this. Now it's don't puke on the freaking ball, Josh.
That's fair.
It's hilarious that even happened, man. It's hilarious that I ended up in a Sports Illustrated article on.
Yeah, that was fun
because of my tweet. I was the first person to catch it. Evidently, I was literally just. And you know how it is, take your eye off the ball, right? And I'm kind of scanning the field, the coverage, this and that. And I come right back to the offensive line and kind of looking at it. And all of a sudden, I'm like, did he just puke on the ball? I realized he puked on the ball.
The funniest part was Malik Willis having that same reaction, right? And he's like, what the hell you want me to do with this?
And then Matt LaFleur getting mad, like, why didn't you throw the damn ball? Josh puked on it. Matt said, first time I ever heard that. Like, I've been coaching a long time. Never heard that. Never had that happen. It was so smooth, though, man. Just a slight kick to the side, snap the ball.
Yeah, right. We didn't even get a false start, man.
Mental toughness, man. No doubt about it. So, yeah. All right, let's see what else we got here. Oh, this other one too. I just want to say this. T. Rattler says you got to give Steno a huge amount of credit for the development and consistency of the O-line. You know, obviously, Stenovich is the offensive coordinator, but before he was promoted offensive coordinator, he was the offensive line coach. I'm sure he has a lot of say in that room, but you also got to give a little bit of credit to Coach Butkus too, right? I've been critical of Coach Butkus from time to time because we would, first of all, when the snaps were bad when Aaron was here, it's like, what are we doing, right? And then the other thing too, was the run blocking when you look at the run blocking grades. But again, as the seasons went along and we had mentioned this earlier in the year that, hey, maybe PFF truly don't understand what's being taught there in Green Bay from a run blocking standpoint, because when you consistently have running backs just absolutely stick out like, hey, these dudes are studs. And now we can, 1 year removed from Aaron Jones being here, Aaron Jones, it was the same thing. Run blocking grades were trash. Aaron Jones was running crazy. Oh, it's just Aaron Jones. Josh Jacobs comes in. He's running like crazy. The grades are still trash. Okay. Emmanuel Wilson, not highest graded running back. It's like, okay, maybe PFF don't know what the hell we're trying to do run blocking wise.
Maybe they don't know that we block with our tight ends and our receivers, and we let our running back run the football.
It's just, again, PFF, we say it all the time. It's not everything. It's a great.
It's the only thing. Oh no, my bad.
Unbelievable. So that's why we're always cross-checking, right? And we're going to continue to do that for sure. So, but I'm with you, T. Rattler. Got to give Steno a lot of credit, man, for sure, for what he's done with that offensive line. So, all right, let's do a little PFF preview. We got a few minutes here. Let's kind of dive into the early stages of this, and we'll go ahead and go full screen, make it easier on everyone. So, the way it sits right now, the current forecast, obviously, is going to be a Sunday night game there in Seattle. No, it's on the West Coast, so it's going to be a little earlier local, obviously. But 45 degrees and overcast at kickoff is what it sounds like. So, you know how
cloudy with a chance of flags.
Yeah, and definitely a chance of rain out there in Seattle. You know how that goes, right? So it may say overcast and cloudy. Don't be surprised if it starts raining out there in Seattle. So. Unbelievable. All right, so team metrics. I'm glad y'all couldn't see my face on that one. Team metrics. Power ranking overall, the Packers are not. The Seattle Seahawks are 13th. All right, so that's how the power ranking currently sits. Power ranking on defense, the Packers are 15th. Seattle is 14th. So the slot edge goes to Seattle in defense, and it goes to the slot edge to the Green Bay Packers for the slot edge on offense. All right, power ranking. Overall. Offensive or overall, it goes to the Packers at 9th. Power ranking on offense, the Packers are 14th. Look at Seattle, guys, 6th overall in power ranking on offense. So we're going to dive into that as we get a little later in the week and see exactly what it is they do well. I'll tell you this, their quarterback is playing good football. I know that. I was looking at some of the tape earlier today. Strength of schedule played. The Packers had the 5th toughest schedule played this year. And the Seattle Seahawks have the 19th toughest. Now, the fact that the Seattle Seahawks are sitting at 8-5 and they've played the 19th toughest schedule says a lot about the team. Now, listen, the team's different in the second half of the season than they are in the first. Anyone will say it doesn't matter what team you're talking about. It's a much different team as the season goes along and evolves. They adapt, change what they're doing, and obviously guys get a little bit better grab of the system. So you got to kind of throw that out the window when you're talking about how did this team play in week 3 or week 4 as opposed to week 15, right, or week 14. So average offensive snaps, the Packers are at 65.1. The Seahawks are at 69.2. So they're averaging a little over 4 more offensive snaps per game than the Packers. Percentage of run plays, the Packers 47.2%. Look at the Seahawks, 34%. So they are throwing the ball all over the yard at a clip of 66% of the offensive snaps, as where the Packers are 52.8.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
that's absolutely crazy, I think. Yeah. They're asking Gino to do a lot there. They're asking him to basically run the offense. Not a game manager. You know, we hate that, but it's like 66. I mean, that you're begging.
Right. And when you look at the EPA per run too, the Packers are let's see, would they be better or worse? They would be better there, right? Negative 0.04 EPA per run, as where the Seahawks are negative 0.19 EPA per run. In the passing game, EPA per pass, the Packers are at a positive 0.17 and the Seahawks are at a positive 0.06 0.06. So in EPA, that would suggest that the Packers have the advantage in both running and passing, although when you look at the offensive power ranking, they have Seattle significantly higher, but you do have to take into consideration, that's the reason they put it on this sheet, is the strength of schedule played, right? So probably has a lot to do with that. What do you guys think about the metrics there in terms of the team aspect of how this game may be played? Overall, offense, defense, anything we covered there?
I think it's just tough, the fact that they're running so few plays and struggling with it. I mean, not 100%, but they're negative, 0.9, almost 0.2, or 0.19, almost 0.2. And then you have their EPA per pass at 0.06. They're barely breaking even there, and we're exceeding them in both of those categories, doing more running and less throwing with better numbers. I like that. I like that for our team. If it works for Seattle, let them do it. But I think that we got to keep this in mind when we go back to play them. Gets a little colder in the winter. If we have to go back there in the playoffs, it's snowing and stuff, and they want to throw the ball all the time. I mean, we'll see this week a little bit with it being rainy and if they're going to be able to stick to it. But, moving forward, is that something they're going to be able to hammer out the rest of the year?
Yeah. I say from the defensive side, fire that blitz, baby. Let's tee off. If Geno Smith wants to drop back and throw, we need to put pressure on that offensive line for sure. I mean, this is the game. I don't think you're going to hear me complain about us blitzing too much. I think it's time. Go ahead and tee off. Let's go.
Yeah, Coach Lynn says here, and I haven't got a chance to look at this too extensively, Coach. He says Seattle's pass blocking is horrendous. So you may be onto something there. There you go.
I'm with you, Coach Lynn. Let's go.
I've about marked a couple Hawk Tua comments several times. Let's look at the quarterback matchup since we're kind of talking about it. Jordan Love versus Geno Smith. And Carly, again, chime in. Anything you got, okay? Just cut us off. I don't want to put you on a spot and try to make you talk if you ain't got none or don't want to talk. So
I appreciate it. My husband's here making some noise in the background, so I'm also not wanting to have that come through too much on the pod.
Oh, we're gonna give him some.
We appreciate it. All right, so good drop, Tim. Quarterback comparison: Jordan Love at a 76.8, Geno Smith 83.3. Boys, he's playing some good football this year. Passer rating when clean, 106.7 for Jordan Love. Geno Smith 105.6. So slight edge to Jordan Love there. Passer rating under pressure: Jordan Love 72.9, Geno Smith 58.8. Big time throw percentage: Jordan Love at 3.72% and Geno Smith at 4.39%. So the big time throw percentage is the first thing that's went in Geno Smith's favor outside of the overall PFF grade of 83.3 over 76.8. Turnover worthy play percentage. Here we go. Jordan Love 3.46%. Geno Smith only 2.11%. So he's definitely protecting the football better than Jordan Love, albeit Jordan Love in the last few games obviously looks like a different quarterback. Power rating: Jordan Love has a 4.0, Geno Smith has a 3.5, and the power rating rank, Jordan Love is sitting in the 9 spot, Geno Smith is in the 11 spot there. What do you guys think about the quarterback matchup here, man? Looks like Geno Smith playing some pretty good football, though.
Yeah, you can't sleep on him. I obviously think we have the better quarterback, but this is a guy you don't take for granted, and that's why I'm saying if the O-line is decimated and they can't pass block, if he's going to try and throw the ball, man, we got to pressure him, because I feel like a guy like him, if you give him too much time, he can pick you apart, or he can do it with his feet too. So you have to respect the game for sure.
Yep.
Yeah, and I would think that to that point, Tim, of him using his feet, that's where that 83.3 is coming from. If you probably dove a little bit into it, his scrambling or running grade is probably pretty decent. I know that's how he kind of beat San Fran, was being able to use his legs to extend the play. Then you find somebody open, you can't cover for 10 seconds. We know the man story and all that. So I think that his legs are a big part of it, and Jordan didn't have his leg really for some of the beginning of the season. I think those are all starting to come back to him now.
Yeah. Yep. Ron Samuel in the chat says Geno Smith has more interceptions with 12. So that's an interesting number there. I know Daryl in the chat also said, I'm sure Jordan Love won't throw any INTs against Seattle Seahawks this Sunday. That's going to be the tell of the tape there, guys. It's going to be what controls the game. We talk about it all the time. Protecting the football is going to be huge, and hopefully we got that. It don't take a quarter and a half to get that silent count squared away, as we know it's going to be tough there in Seattle, just like it was in Detroit. Maybe not quite as loud as Detroit, because that fan base is absolutely fired up right now. But Seattle, man, 12th man, when they're winning, and the reality is they're in the playoffs right now, so they have a reason to show up and and get loud. So it's going to be tough in that regard too. So as Drew D in the chat here says, 58.8 passer rating under pressure. We need to get after Geno. Kind of goes hand in hand with what you were saying, Tim. Respect Orange just says number 8 for McKinney Sunday. Hey, calling it. I love it, man.
I love it. Let's go.
Yeah. And Drew D says, let's blitz our linebackers so they don't get stuck. They don't get stuck in pressure. And here's the thing, like when you're talking blitzing, it doesn't necessarily mean 5 or 6, right? Let's do some fire zone blitzing. Let's get creative with it, right?
Exactly.
And, if Edgerrin Cooper's on the field, I want to see him on at least 2 or 3 blitzes.
Yep. Because like to Emilio's point, it's true. I mean, you got to keep him in the well. Like you want to apply pressure, but we can't get over, extended, and we can't let him wiggle out of that pocket. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, he's going to light us up in space with his feet.
Right. Yeah. And Drew D said that he meant coverage, not pressure there, so they don't get stuck in coverage. I'm excited. I hope Edgerrin Cooper plays, man. I think he makes a big, big difference. And I know he's not playing 100% of the snaps, but he gets in there. If we end up, having 50 snaps on defense and he plays in 20 of them, he's gonna make an impact. There's no doubt in my mind. All right, so let's look at the betting line for you gambling degenerates in here. All right, the spread is currently at 2.5 points. It's 2.5 points. The money line, the juice is on Seattle at plus 127. So the Packers are 2.5 point favorites currently, according to PFF and their market. Okay, so here's how the line opened. It opened at Packers being 2.5 point favorites. It climbed up to the Packers being 3 point favorites, dropped back down to 2.5, came back up to 3. And now is back settled in at 2.5. But when you look at PFF's number here, PFF has it Seattle at plus 1.6. So they have it a little closer than that 2.5. Okay. So, and you guys know they kind of put their own line together. That's what that means there. When we look at how the public is gambling on this game, again, the Packers being 2.5 point favorites. What is this? 2-0 for this? You heard me get quiet as soon as it popped up. 2-0 for this says only gambling I do is eating a gas station hot dog every now and then. Hey,
he's not spoiled like you guys in Tennessee. You got that good gas station chicken down there.
But your boy right here, man. I traveled through Kentucky most of my life, and I like a good challenge. I'll stop in there. I'll get a hamburger at a gas station with some mayo on. It's been under a heat lamp all day. I ain't scared. It's good for the gut, boys. You know what I'm saying?
You think God never farted?
He did, Brett. So the market spread, all right, let's talk about where the market is at. The value, obviously, they've got the Packers at minus 1.1% and the Seattle Seahawks at minus 3.7%. So the value is definitely in the Packers' favor. 61% of the public's money, okay, is on the Packers to cover that 2.5 point spread, meaning they will win by 3 points or more, okay?
We got to get that number up near
65%. 65%. That's what
we're closing in, Mark. Bets percentage, though. So, again, 61% of the cash is on the Packers minus 2.5, but 51% of the bets, the tickets themselves, are on Seattle plus 2.5. Okay, so that's pretty close there as far as the number of bets. However, the majority of the money is what is this? Where did that come from?
You got to take the power away from him. That's ridiculous.
I'm just trying to figure out where the hell it came from. That was awesome. Love everybody's facial expressions there. You gotta love that stuff. All right. So money line, just winning outright. Okay. Like I said, the juice is on Seattle at 127. When you look at the money, the cash itself, the overall dollar amount, 94% of the money is on the Packers. Okay, so the public is real heavy on the Packers there.
You hear that, Cleet? You hear that?
Oh, he heard it. I'm afraid he heard it loud and clear, Tim, to be honest with you. Bets percentage, though. So the number of bets, the tickets themselves, 82% of the tickets are on the Packers to win outright. So the public is all over the Packers. Some see it as a good thing. Sometimes me being a gambling degenerate, I get a little nervous on that because, again, Vegas knows what they're doing. So that's right, half. You're gonna have to put that back up there, Tim. You go putting all your money on these bets that 94% of the public are on. You got to be careful. You'll be the only thing you can afford as far as as far as sunglasses, going to be those gas station version that our boy Halfley's got on. Out there, you know what I'm saying? So
Too old for this is eating gas station hot dogs, and Jeff Halfley's buying his shades there.
I love what Siggy says here too. The fact that you put Kevin Malone up on the screen, he is actually a big Packers fan. So that's pretty
Yes,
good, right?
yes, that is so true.
Yeah. All right. So what do you guys think about the numbers there, Emilio? What do you think about it, dude? As far as how the numbers sit right now, Packers being 2.5-point favorites. It's reached 3 at times. I think it'll probably stay settled in at 2.5 though.
Yeah, I mean, we have the better record, right? We've played a tougher schedule. I think that it's a fair number. We are traveling. It's been a little bit, and I think that Seattle's going to give us a run. That's why I was wondering earlier when I was asking, would you want to lose this one to feel better about winning the next one, or do you want to win both? I mean, because if we have to go play them in the playoffs, it's tough to beat a team twice. It's even tougher to beat them 3 times. So in the same year, is that something that we're scared about at all, or you fine, let them go hammer it out, and we'll keep moving forward?
Yeah, it's tough, man. Either way you look at it, because it's like you said, it's so hard to beat a team twice. It's even harder to beat them a third time. You can kind of drive yourself crazy thinking about this,
right?
But I think the most important thing is momentum. Go out there and try to dominate. At this point in the season, you don't want to just try to ink by any win. It's just, all right, guys, we got to get this thing. Listen, we're in 3rd gear. We're about to shift into 4th. We need to get to 5th as quick as possible, right? And just hit this playoff with crazy momentum. I don't know. How do you, Carly, how do you feel about what Emilio just asked there in terms of the momentum going into the playoffs like that when you're trying to beat a team? It's so hard to beat a team twice in a year is what you said, right, Emilio? That's what was there. Yeah. So what do you think, Carly?
Well, from that question, do you want to lose this one to feel good about winning the next one? Is that a Packer fan talking? Are you crazy? We want to win them all. Thank you very much. Let's go. Let's just keep it running. Get the momentum going. Get the pack train running, and let's just steamroll them all. I want to win out this thing.
Love it.
Yeah, let me just paraphrase what Carly was just saying now, if I could find it here. There it is. Play to win the game. We need that sound drop back. We got to get it back. Right. We'll throw it, for sure. Right next to this one.
Here we go. Oh, gosh.
Well, it's feel like it's been forever, hasn't it? Poor Dak. Moment of silence for Dak. Moment of silence for Dallas. Did you guys see them lose that game on special teams?
Dude, we broke them. When we destroyed them in Jerry World, we broke that team.
Did you guys watch that stupid gimmick that the Simpsons did for the game? Did y'all watch that?
I saw bits and pieces of it, yeah.
Let me tell you something, Tim. I was outraged until I watched it, and I couldn't take my eyes off the screen. I thought it was absolutely awesome, dude. Seeing Mo catch a sideline pass and juke somebody, Mo the bartender with his apron on, I'm like, why don't we do every game like this? This is absolutely awesome. But I'm a big Simpsons fan, so. All right, so anybody else got anything for the market here? Anything at all? Going once, going twice,
sold.
All right. So there is your PFF gambling degenerate preview there. There's no reason to get into the lineups and stuff just yet. I think we should just probably wait on that and maybe hit on it tomorrow. There will not be a morning show. I got to get out in this cold weather and do some work. We got to do some trimming and stuff. So we'll be out of the loop in the morning. What are you laughing about, Amelia?
You said I go do some trimming.
7 in the morning, right?
Yeah, I just.
Here's what I'll be doing. I'll be doing this in the morning, right here.
It looked like Jabba the Hutt and Aunt Jemima had a kid. Pull that back
Leave Kevin Malone alone, man. Packer fan, baby.
Did he have the pinky out with the glass too? I got to see that one more time. He did. Look at the pinky.
Sure.
Oh man!
For those of you listening on the pod, that was our buddy. God, what's his name now? I can't think of his first name. Malone.
Kevin
Malone from The Office. Had a towel wrapped around his head, drinking a martini. Was he biting on a cucumber all seductively too there?
Yep, you gotta love it, man.
A slice of cucumber. Calm down out there on the podcast, okay? It was a slice of cucumber.
I think it was a pickle.
And it's Brian Baumgartner is his name. We gotta give him credit for his real name.
He's Kevin.
Not actually Kevin.
Stop trying to be modest, Tim. He's Kevin. Go ahead, Carter. What were you gonna say?
I said I think it's a pickle.
Was it a pickle?
I think
Well,
it's a pickle. I don't know.
Cucumber is a pickle, right? So there you go.
I mean, it's a good
By
thing
the
he's
way,
got a
man,
towel around all that hair he's got. You know,
bro, we got a couple of Amish stores here locally, and they got these pickles that are sweet. Oh my god! Let me tell you, on a grilled cheese sandwich, take me right back to the trailer park, baby. I love it. I'm telling you.
You better bring some of those up for snacking on for the draft.
We'll do that. We'll definitely do that. We'll get some of those up there for sure.
Some cheese curds, some sweet pickles.
I'm just going to have a 55-gallon drum of elk stroganoff at the Airbnb for the draft party. That's what's going to happen there. So we're going to be good to go. All right, anything else you guys want to hit on before we wrap up here? I think we've covered quite a bit tonight, and I wanted to do
just stir this pot real quick. Drew D says, "Did you guys talk about how the fan that got into it with LaFleur got his season tickets revoked?"
Ooh, I didn't know that, Drew. So they got revoked. That's
Whoa,
great.
I totally missed that. Can we go run over that real quick for those who have not heard of this situation?
Yeah, so basically, and you guys correct me, Emilio, Tim, or correct me if I got something wrong here. Before the game,
hold on. Before we go into the details, let's make sure we get the right picture up. Okay, there's Tupac. Go ahead.
so essentially, what happened, Carly? Pre-game on NFL Network, and it's not like the actual pregame. They do like this around the league type thing during the games. They cut away and they showed Matt LaFleur cussing this fan out on the field. I mean, he's dropping some wordy dirts, let me tell you. Okay. So he's going off, and it's like, what in the world happened, right? So evidently a fan was on the field for the national anthem. He was a part of their festivity, right? Like it was planned. It wasn't like he ran on the field.
Yeah.
Wasn't he holding the flag, like the big flag they put over the field? Right.
And he was walking past LaFleur going like this and
doing the throat slash at him.
Throat slash, talking trash to the Packers.
LaFleur wasn't having it.
Yeah, Tupac wasn't playing that noise.
So LaFleur gets up and told him to shut the you-know-what up. And
LaFleur told him to basically kick rocks. And
here's a guy.
We don't hang banners for NFC championships. And dude was not happy about it.
He said, how many Lombardis do y'all got? Shut up.
Let me see your trophy case, LaFleur said. And dude kept throat slashing Matt, and losing.
And then Matt was like,
sit your butt outside.
So they got him out of there, and I thought that there was jokes on Twitter, and it was Lions fans trying to make light of the situation. They said, all they did was took him up to a suite. Ha, great job, like he was doing something, great for the organization. But so what Drew is now giving us an update on, did you guys talk about how the fan got into it with LaFleur, got his season tickets revoked? Drew, I did not know that.
I didn't know that either. That's
great.
Awesome.
I put a little bit more mustard into that Lombardi take, Clay. So I think that
oh yeah,
that'd be tough now.
Hey,
so this was a Lions fan that did this.
Right. Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. So he was one of the guys that goes on the field, holds the flag out, and he just turned around because he was on the Packers sideline and started chirping real hard.
Yeah.
Wow.
And Matt LaFleur was like,
"How dare you!"
And they said, "Matt, you can't talk like that. We'll have to edit that out." And he said,
"Edit D's. How about that?"
There you go. Right. So that's pretty much that's the gist of what happened, right? And as they sent him to his car, I guarantee you, they said, "Listen, your season tickets have been revoked, and
stay off the damn weed."
It's the duh at the end that gets me every time. Duh. So, all right, this show sucks officially.
Gotta love our coach for sticking up for our guys, man. There it is. Cam knows what's up. Tupac.
Cam knows exactly what's up.
Let's go. He said, "How do you want it?" That's what he said.
How do you... I started to sing it. I better not do that. We don't get in trouble. So, anything else y'all got before we wrap up here? Anything at all?
No morning show. I'm sleeping in tomorrow, Clayton. That's awesome.
You're excited, ain't you?
I am.
Just
Welcome
know
to the party, Tim. That's a great time, man.
You're sleeping in. I'm gonna be out there at 26 degrees trimming some bushes. All right.
Me too.
There you go. That'll be Tim in the morning while I'm freezing. Unbelievable. We got to say that. That's a dandy there. Carly, anything you want to say? Anything smart you want to end this with, as we've absolutely ruined the show here at the end?
Oh no, not smart. But I'm just really glad that picture of Kevin has his pinkies relatively straight.
What are you doing, Carly? What are you talking about, Carly? Have you seen crooked pinkies before?
I'm not looking.
How about these hands?
She showed it. All right, that's it, guys. This show sucks. We're out of here. Appreciate y'all. Thank you so much in the super chat. Y'all are way too generous. as Joseph with the super chat, Dan Mullen with the super chat, and Jake G126 with the super chat. Thank y'all so much. And again, Brambo, reach out, buddy. Send me a text, send me an email, a homing pigeon, something. All right, let's get you this this autographed Romeo Dobbs card. Appreciate you supporting the show. As always, let's go out and be the change you want to see in the world. Go Pack, go.
And we go.
Bye, guys.